Hello everybody, it's me, Max Farrell from DexFXMarkets.com. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up your Xedan from the beginning. You just installed it onto your desktop or your VPS, wherever, it doesn't matter, the setup's still the same. A couple things that you're going to notice right off the bat is that this is a very clean process of a piece of software. It's very responsive. Just before we even log in, if it's not fitting on your screen too well or you want to give it more direction, we'll be able to move this around once we get down to a corner. You can kind of see a little diagonal double-headed arrow that you can kind of pull down. It's very responsive if you click and drag it. The only spot that we don't get a double-headed arrow is up top. Okay, we can go down to any one of these corners or sides and move it around. Okay, I usually like it have about this big. Now, the email you're going to use is the same email you signed up with over at Dex FX Markets. Now, this is very important for you to know. Do not give your email address out to anybody to have them use it or have multiple accounts or do any of that stuff. We track everything from this login. In fact, this is the only thing that we track in, is that when you click that button right there, it verifies that this IP and this email are registered to onto a Xedan. And if it comes over and there's another one added to it, or anybody else is logged into it from another IP, it will flag us and we will find out, and we will have to shut you off until we find out what's going on. Okay, so if you have multiple accounts and all that stuff, each one of those accounts will have different emails to them, so make sure that you use those emails. If you're trying to have one for live and one for demo, don't, because you don't want to buy two of these, because every instance it costs us money to have running and keeping for security and everything else. Okay. Secondly, is that we do not store any of your information. We can't reset your password. We can't reset your security for inside. We can reset your password for DexFXMarkets.com and even change your email, but we can't do anything internally to your Xedan. We don't keep any information about you or your system inside ours other than this email that you have. Okay, with that said, let's log in. You'll immediately see it start to think. And as it grills over, you'll pull up the very first screen. And this is just our welcoming screen. Okay, now when you first start out, you're going to easily see that there's some things for you to be able to look at here, right? The first thing is the Nadex control. Be sure to visit the account tab, which is down here, and to set up your Nadex live and demo accounts. And we'll show you what that looks like. There's an economic calendar right to the right. Now, this does not connect to our system directly as far as, like, does it block signals or anything else? And the answer is no. If I click on view all, I'm going to open up into a Internet Explorer thing. On my VPS here, I don't have, I have my security pretty tight, so I can't really show a lot. But this goes over to Trading View once you're on there. Okay, I'm going to close all tabs there. So this is just the economic calendar over on Trading View. Okay, Trading View status. This also will be going in and logging into our Trading View account. For those that want to use it, for those that are just trading and not using the charts, you're just using signals, don't worry about setting this up. It's completely up to you, and it's random. Our Xedan changelog, this is for any of the systems that are out there. It'll tell us exactly what we've done and what we've done to improve it. So it might be 2.5.1 or 2. In this particular case, it's 2.51. And that's the welcoming screen. Okay, you might see different messages here that we may have, so keep an eye out for any new messages that may be there. Let's drop down to the account section, and we'll start going down through this progressively. The first one is the Nadex Live account, and this is where you'll put your Nadex Live account information. But be careful, okay? Make sure you take the time to put in the right username and password. And I'm going to give you a piece of warning. If you mess it up 3 times, they're going to cut your account off over at Nadex until you write them, okay? Our Nadex system has never failed to connect to Nadex when the password and the username is correct. So don't tell me, oh, I already know I got it correct. Make sure you do, okay? Because you could be leaving out a middle initial, you could be having an extra thing, you could have caps lock on. There's a lot of things to do. So make sure that, one, you test to make sure you got the right username and password over on Nadex first, and then copy and paste that information that you use to log in to here. If they have, cut you off or you don't, this won't log into it. It's not because of us, it's because of Nadex shutting you out. Nadex demo account. This is where you're going to start with anyway, so make sure you fill in your information. TradingView account. You're going to be using your TradingView email and password over to TradingView. And again, we don't keep any of your information here. All of this stays with you and on your laptop. And in future videos, I'll show you how to do when you're doing upgrades, or if you need to delete all your personal information, you don't want it hanging out, I'll show you how to do that as well as a courtesy. Now, as we get down to the trading strategy, we're going to be using the Dex Atomic default. Now, what this means is that we're going to be getting Dex Atomic signals. If you have this access to where you'll be able to have signals, or you're going to be using your own, if you see this, then you have access to the Dex Atomic signal. I think this level of Dex Atomic, whether it be manual or personal, also has both in there. So you get to be able to use those. Now, the Dex Atomic default is when we use our Dex Atomics to send signals to a very special webhook that come into this system. Nobody knows what that is except for us. So we're able to send your system direct signals from our network with the Dex Delta signals. And they're doing wonderful right now. In this section, so if you want to just use your personal signals, you could do that. If you're going to just use the Dex Atomic signals, you could do that. If you wanted to use them both, you would use that. Okay. Now, set the max level you're willing to trade to. This is what we refer to as the L level. Okay, and the L level, okay, L1, L2, and so forth, means that if you're in L1, at any one time, if you're set into automatic, that there will be one trade that you'll always be able to do. If you always follow the L1s, you'll never be trading more than one trade an hour. Okay, that'll keep your risk to reward ratio very low, or your risk level very low, because you'll only be trading one. We're using a 45-55. Here it says 65-35, but we're going to be changing that just like this here. I'm doing it premature, but there it is. So if you're trading the system, you're trading all of them. Remember that you could probably have about 6 trades fire off if you have it up to L10. All right. So for me, I'm just doing to L4 at this point. Set the number of contracts trade per trade. Now, this is a global setting here for the strategy. You can change it out later on when we get down below, but I'm just going to be trading one contract at a time. Set your maximum buy price, which is that 55-45 mentality. We're going to be using that buying strategy over the next several months. There's like 35-65. There's a whole bunch of other things you can use when you're using your personal one. But for the Dex Atomic and the Dex Delta signals, you want to be doing 45-55. Okay? Also, inside the trading pair settings, we have this, the Audi JPY override defaults. You can turn just the Audi JPY. Let's just say Audi JPY is not doing good for you. Don't like it. You just, no thank you. I want to turn it off for a little while until it starts doing better. You can turn it off there. Turn it back on. Maybe, just maybe, you say that you want to override the defaults. And on Audi JPYs that are firing off at higher levels, like the level 2 or level 3, you know, maybe you only want to trade up to level 2 on Audis. Right? We have data that proves that there's some pairs that are trading off at better areas and better times. So you might just decide to remove those particular times. But for the most part, default's set to 10. And again, if you change the default override defaults, make sure you're also changing the buying price here as well. Okay? Just like that. If you're not changing any defaults, don't worry. They're all going to be set to whatever default this is here. Okay? That's all the way down for all 11 pairs, even down to the USD, MEXI, the peso. System settings. Now, this one is a little temperamental because there is a lot of stuff around, you know, trading manual to trading auto, trading live to trading demo. Now, let's talk about just the Audi to manual process, right? We're going to be trading auto. It's set the manual first just so you don't mess up, okay? When you're first starting out, if you've never traded Nadex, if you've never attached anything to Nadex before, this is something to just have it go off in manual, because what it's going to do is going to send a signal over, and it's not going to put it in automatically. You'll have to go over to the thing and click on it to say accept, and it's going to go when you say it's going to go, okay? Auto. If you have it on auto, no matter what your settings are set up here, even if they're right or wrong, it's going to send it over for that number, okay? So I'm suggesting that if you're brand new, start it at manual, spend some time seeing it fire over, and then once you're ready and you've got everything looks good, hit auto. Okay? Toggle between Nadex demo and live account. Another big controversy around this. If I say start with demo, this is not about starting with demo so you can see if it makes profit. This is not practicing to get profit. We're already there. This is practicing to make sure you set it up right. Okay? My signals, everything else, the SAR system, everything else works, and Dex Delta Network works well. What you have to see is to make sure you didn't do something like that. Okay? And set it up in demo to make sure that you didn't. Make sure that you got your 55-45 segment on, right? Make sure that one of these isn't off or what have you. So set it up in demo first. Some of you, in the very beginning, may not even have live available. Okay, the people that I have beta testing may have it live right now, but later on, until they've proven themselves to be responsible enough to use this thing properly, you may not have live available. You may not even have auto available at a point when you first start. Some people are buying the lesser version of manual, so they can sit down for an hour or two a day and have trades automatically come over, not have to look at a chart, and just click accept. It's that simple, right? So pretty cool. All right. Now, if you decide that you are going to be doing your personal signals like that, and you have your Dex Atomics set up, and you already know what that is and everything great, there's your webhook, right? This is the spot that over in the how to set an alert, this will be a link to that process of getting set up and using your webhook. There'll also be a special webhook setup, which I'll be showing you in that and how to set it up to here and use that system, okay? Now, some design feature stuff here. Lock the navigation bar and sidebar prevents the nav from sliding open. So if I click yes, this little bar over here doesn't slide open. If I have it on no, there you go, it slide open. Sometimes when you're in the Nadex side, it slides open and it gets in the way, right? So we have yes, it doesn't, so you lock it there. Dock the sidebar nest in the Signals Nadex app. This is also one of those things that once we get into the Nadex side of it, there'll be a big box over here that will have all the signals in it, and you can lock it into place. If not, it'll overlap so it can kind of condenses room. And then, of course, finally, the Activate Xedan Transparency. It already says, non-transparent here. If I click that, you can kind of see that there's stuff behind, right? You can kind of see a little bit of transparency through this process. Some people like the way this looks. We're going to have this button in here to kind of take a vote one day, and if we get more people that say no, we might turn the whole feature off, so it's off or always on, okay? Now, in the next segment, I'm going to show you how and what everything looks like as it's firing off inside and getting your Nadex set up and getting everything on. Some good practices to be paying attention, all that kind of good stuff, okay? But for now, I really appreciate you all being here. It means a lot to me that you're here proving this system works and making it happen. We'll see you soon. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexFXMarkets.com. And as always, trade well.